Welcome back to another episode of the Adventures of FoxFoil. Today I have some exciting plans and announcements, but before we get to that, if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And with that, let's go ahead and get started with the episode. We are starting off today's episode where we finished up last time at the mob farm that we built. And the reason that we're over here is because I want to add some more to this area to have it grow and expand and add a couple more farms. Because as you know, the reason that we built the mob farm was to be able to get gunpowder for rockets. But the other thing that rockets need is paper. And in order to get paper, we need to have some sugarcane. So today we are going to be working on a design for a sugarcane farm that'll be able to complement our mob farm so that while we're over here AFKing, we'll be able to get sugarcane in addition to all of the gunpowder. The other thing that I wanted to talk about while we're over here is some of the plans that I have for this area, because it wasn't going to just be about this mob farm. This is just the start. What I want to be able to do is expand this area and make it into a larger base area that we'll be able to use going forward. And it'll be something that we won't do in every episode, but we will do periodically as I come up with some special designs. And the other time that we'll be working in this area is during some live streams, because I've decided to start live streaming. And if that's something that you will be interested in, it'll be starting in a couple weeks and I'll post days and times on the channel, so keep a lookout there. But enough about future plans, it's time to get started with today's project. So let's head back to our storage room and get some supplies. I was on my way back and I noticed that these villagers over here seem to be having a little party outside of the village gates. I mean, look at these guys. They've got, I don't know what's going on. They're all in the water, having a good time, I guess. Okay, well, good for them. I mean, that's good. They need to have some fun over here, but we need to get going with our project, so we'll just leave them to it. I'm down here where I've been mining some deep slate for our project, and I've got quite a bit mined up here, and we're all set as far as these resources go. I also was able to get some diamonds and some other things, so that's pretty good. We'll get these collected up, and now we need to get the rest of the things that we need for building the sugarcane farm, especially some redstone and different stuff like that. So put these into our ender chest, get that collected up, and now we need to head back to our storage room. I have some of the resources all collected up here that we are going to be using. So we've got some andesite in here, which I think should be enough. We shouldn't need more than that. We've got some warped root blocks. We've got some of these other ones. Definitely have the sugarcane, obviously, some stone. And then this is my redstone box, which has some miscellaneous redstone items. But what we're going to be using primarily for today is the stuff down here. This is what we really need. The rest is just in case, kind of. So get these put into the ender chest as well. And then what I also have been doing is getting some of the other types of things in here that we need as far as backup. So we've got some supplies, we've got the different tools that I have, and then we have some boxes for like a spare elytra and rockets, and some for food, and then obviously the redstone one that I had, and then some backup stone too. So that's everything that we have in the ender chest, and I think that's going to be good for what we need. And with that, I think we are all ready to get started building the farms. I've cleared out the terrain around the mob farm so that we have a flat area to work with while building the sugarcane farm. And as you can see, it's all cleared out here. And if we fly up over here, I'll be able to show you that this area has been cleared out on this side. And then over here, I had to expand the land out into the water a little bit in order to make enough space. And then we've got this spot over here as well. And for these farms, we're going to be doing a total of 8 sugarcane farms, 2 in each of these areas. And the design is going to be that standard observer piston design. You may have seen that before. It's raining. But with that design, I will show you what I'm going to be building on the first one. And then for the remaining 7, we'll do a time lapse. So let's go ahead and get started. This is an outline of where the sugarcane farm is going to be located, and the space that we are going to be working with, which is right here in the center. With this farm, it's not going to be anything too crazy. We're going to have a total of 8, so we don't need a lot of sugarcane in each individual one because the combined amount will be quite a bit. So we'll have a row of sugarcane on this side and a row on that side, and then we'll have a collection system over here as well. So let me get some of the redstone items that we need, and then we'll get started placing some of these blocks down. I've got the initial blocks placed down, and as you can see, we've got grass on either side and then the stone going along here in the back. So this row of grass is where the sugarcane is going to be planted, the same on this side. And then along the top here, we're going to place a line of redstone going just like so, and then we're going to get some pistons and place them here. And the pistons will need to be placed 1 block above where the grass is because there needs to be enough space for the sugarcane to stay planted. We're going to do the same thing along this side here. So we've got the redstone and then the pistons going along just like this. And once the pistons are all in place, the next thing that we need to do is place some stone down here underneath the pistons, and that'll keep the sugarcane from falling into the wrong place. So we place a line of stone along there and then over on this side as well. The next step is to get the observers placed in. And so in order to do that, we get on the back and we have them facing out. So we place them along the top of the pistons, and then we go over and we'll place the observers on the same side as well. So going along here with the observers, the next thing that we need to do is to put stone along the back of the observers. And what that'll do is power the redstone, which will power the pistons when the observers see that the sugarcane is growing. So what you'll notice is if we place a block here, it'll power the piston right underneath it, just like that. And then once we break it, it'll update and the piston will fire. So we can do the same along with all of these, and you can see it does each individual piston. If you do the same design in Bedrock, instead of one piston firing, the entire row will fire when one observer updates. But that's what we have for the design. In the center here, we're going to get some water placed down, which will allow the sugar cane to grow, but we have everything that we need for the initial part of this farm. The next part is to get the collection system in place. So I have these hoppers, which will run along into this chest over here. And what we need to do now is to create a little mechanism for being able to access the chest. So I'm going to place a redstone torch here, and then we're going to get a piece of redstone dust and place that right there. And then run a line of redstone from the torch up here to the back of the chest. And we come around here, and then what we're going to do is place a sticky piston down right here. I think that should work. And then we need to get a target block, which will run the redstone in, and it powers the piston, just like that. And I put that in the wrong spot. So gotta move these forward 1 block as well. So we get the target, then we get the sticky piston, get that. And then we need to just move the redstone right here as well. Just like this. Okay, there we go. That's what we need. So it needs to run into here. It'll power the sticky piston. And then what it'll do is we're going to put a block on top of that, and it will disguise where the chest is. I have everything here in place. So you can see we've got the pressure plate, and then underneath is the redstone dust. And then when you step on the pressure plate, that will power the redstone dust like this and reveal the chest. And the way that works is that when that redstone dust is powered, it unpowers the torch, which then pulls the piston back just like that. So when we step on here, you can see where the chest is, and it's actually really easy. So that's everything that we need. Let me actually just place another block underneath here, just like that. There we go. Okay, so that's everything that we have here for that mechanism. So now we need to get the farm into place and get the sugarcane planted. All right, I have the sugarcane planted and the water into place. So we've got the sugarcane on either side. The observers will see it, which will power the pistons, causing the sugarcane to break, running into the hoppers here. And from the hoppers, it'll go into the chest over on this side. And that's everything that we need for this farm. The last step will be to get it all decorated up. So let me get some blocks, and then we will get this thing decorated. I have the first stage of the decoration completed, which is to get the base built for the statue, and this is what we have here. So this is going to go all the way around the farm, and as you can see, if we come over here and get on the pressure plate, you can see it opens up and reveals the chest. So that's all in place and good to go. We do have everything that we need now to get the rest of the farms built, and then the statues, which are going to go on top of these bases, completed. So let's go ahead and get started with the time lapse. There we go. We have everything completed with these guys, and I think that they turned out really well. Let's go over and take a look at how much sugarcane we were able to collect and the amount of time it took for me to build these. It was just under about 2 hours for each one. So in almost 16 hours, that's how much sugarcane we've collected, which is probably not great, but with 8 farms, that's going to be plenty for one person. And if we come up here, we can just see how adding these guys in really helps with the size of the mob farm to help balance out how tall it is. Because I think that the little towers underneath were kind of small, but having these taller guys going around the outside really helps make things fit together a lot better. And if we come over here, when we come back from our main base, which is over in that direction, and this is the view that we are going to see when we come in, and you can just see how everything just kind of ties together really well. I'm happy with how this turned out. I think that this is a good project, and I'm excited for all of the other projects that we're going to be doing in this area. That's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been great having you here. I look forward to seeing you next time, and until then, see you later.